Guys, doing good is everybody's business, okay? Every single one of us. And sometimes we get a little bit down about it. And I don't know why we get such a kick in the pants, when we're really trying to do good in life and we don't get recognized. Let's jump in. I want to talk to you guys about this. This whole conversation is inspired by a friend who I was sitting next to just a little bit ago. And she was expressing her feelings, her real feelings. And this is such a simple thing, but it's a real deal, okay, that so many of us kind of confront in our lives. And here's the deal. She said, there's somebody in my life that I feel impressed to check in on and take little gifts to and write little notes to. And she does it. Like when she feels that pull, she does it. She takes some little candies and little gifts and just little things, and she never ever hears from this person. Now I know that sounds like stupidity to some of you, but when we do good, it's never overlooked. See, here's the deal. Sometimes we're impressed to do something for someone else, and we might not ever hear back or know why. And I wanted to sit here today and tell you, you're still doing good, okay? If you're not recognized, if you're not, no matter where it's at, no matter if it's just doing a little something for someone, or if it's like your job or your, role in your family or something, wherever it is that you are trying to do good, as long as you're trying to do good, it counts. Humans are just not always good at reciprocating. They're not. Most of the time, it still makes a difference in their life. They feel it, they appreciate it, and it does make their day better and different. But sometimes humans forget to say, hey, by the way, I just wanted you to know that affected my day. We all do it. I'm going to tell you some stories about how I have done it. First, I'm going to start off with this story it's just kind of an interesting story, and it's the story of the day that it did come back around. Okay, so there was a time when a friend of mine, I was really good friends with her mom, and the daughter was going through a lot of trouble. Her husband had a disease, and his health was struggling majorly, and he passed away. And this girl had a little girl of her own that was about 3 years old. And I literally felt so impressed that I needed to do this thing, okay? I needed to run and buy some lockets and put a little picture of Dad in there for them, okay? And I'm not trying to put a pat on my back, because I'm trying to express to you how I also felt wow, I felt so impressed to do that. I felt so compelled and literally led. I was short on time. I ran into the store. It was right there what I needed. I grabbed it. I went. I put pictures. I mean, it was like bam, 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 and it all worked out. And I never heard wow, that was so great. And you can't really expect that, especially when somebody is going through that level of grief in their life. But I just wanted to share this with you because I did feel compelled to do it. And it was a couple years later, I'm not kidding, that I heard back that had made such a difference for them. And it kind of lifted me at a time when I needed to be lifted, to hear news back that there was something good that I did that made a difference for someone else, and I just wanted to stress to you guys that no matter what you're doing in this life, if you're trying to do good, it counts. It counts. When you do good, it completely counts, okay? It counts in the life of the person that you did it for, whether that completely impacted them or not. It makes you a better person, and it counts upstairs. The biggest part of this is that, yeah, it molds me and it makes me a different person when I do good. The other day I went to a yoga class, and I was seriously sour. I was feeling sour. I had woken up kind of on the wrong side of the bed, and I just was feeling down and trying to like talk myself through it. And you know, when you're in a bad neighborhood in your brain, you just got to get you got to get out and do something active anyway, because that's just, and you got to serve someone or whatever. You got to do something to get out of that neighborhood. And I was in yoga, and at the very beginning of the class, our instructor asked us to turn to the person next to us and introduce ourselves. Well, the person next to me I had met plenty of times previously. I knew her name. I would say hi to her on occasion. And you know what? I always kind of felt like this, I don't want to say a cold shoulder, but kind of just a weirdness, just kind of like a little bit of a weirdness with her. And I turned to her and I said, "Hi, Maria." I was like, "Hey, girl, you are rocking it on this mat. You're doing awesome stuff. Like when I get a glimpse of you, I'm really proud of you." And she kind of got this big smile, and then she was like a little bit sheepishly like, "Really? Because I don't really think so." And I was like, 100%, 100%. And she just radiated this smile. And I just thought, you know what? Number one, I know it made a difference in her day, right? I know for sure it made a difference in her day. Just a little compliment that I could give her. But I also wondered, like, does that also free like the rest of our interactions? Is there something there that she was competing, or like, I don't know what was in her mind. But regardless, I know that me turning to her and doing the simplest compliment, just very simple compliment, made a difference for her, and it freed her in a way. So like, and then not to mention like what it did for me, right? So I'm in this sour mood, and I see that I had power to lift somebody else, that was probably, you guys, life is not easy. Life is hard, and we're always in the middle of something that's not normal, right? This isn't normal life. We're struggling. We're doing tough things, and we're up against a lot of times. And there's a lot of times that the things that we're doing aren't what we consider like normal life. We're kind of in like a mess, or we're in, I don't know, we're always struggling. It's always the ups and downs. And it just felt good, and it lifted me to lift somebody else. Okay, do you guys realize or know that in the Bible it says that like withholding good is a sin? I always think of that when I think of something that I want to do for someone, but I fear like kind of looking ridiculous, or you have the good thought and then you're busy. Yeah, I try to go back to that and say like, look, anything that is within my power to do good, I should do it. And that is good and motivating for me when I feel like the world isn't reciprocating, right? Because sometimes we're up against that. Have you guys ever heard of the book The Mansion? It's a parable, and I'm going to summarize it just really quickly so that I can illustrate a point for you. It's about a man who is completely rich on the earth, okay? And he gives a lot of money, builds hospitals, and does tons of charity work. And I don't really remember everything that it encompasses that he does when he's on the earth, but he gives a lot, okay? And his name is on everything. P.S. His name is plastered, like, whatever, foundation of, or, sponsored by, and all this stuff. His name's everywhere. And in the book, he dies. And he goes to heaven. And he has this experience where everybody kind of congregates, and there's like an officiator in heaven that takes them around and is going to take them to their homes. And their homes that they have, like their home in heaven, right? And he is taking all of these people around and dropping them off at like mansions and gorgeous places, just absolutely stunning houses. And he's kind of the guy in the book is the last to be dropped off at his house, and he the whole time is thinking, oh my gosh, I wonder what mine's gonna be like. It's gonna be like insane. This is so cool. And they pull up to his house, and it's literally a shack. And he questions, and he's like, why? He's like, did you not see like everything that I did? And basically the moral of the story is like, you were already paid for those things. You were recognized for those things already. Like, you had the praise and the acclaim of people on earth when you were there and you were paid for those things. This house is a representation of the things that you did that you weren't paid for. And it's a very simple book, but it is a profound message. Sometimes it's better to do good and not be recognized. Sometimes it's better to do good just for the sake of doing good. You know, it still makes you feel better. It still lifts you. We don't really need the praise and the accolades, though. You know, I remember a story when I was young. This is such a story that's burned into my mind, and you know, my dad told me not to share it with anybody, but you'll see. So when I was maybe 10 or 11, my dad needed my help. He said, Misha, can I, steal you for a little bit? I gotta run and help somebody. Will you come with me? So I said, sure. Well, I probably dragged my feet. I probably didn't say sure, but needless to say, I remember standing in the back of my dad's truck with him, passing him chopped wood, okay? Wood that he had gathered and chopped, passing him the wood. And we were at a neighbor's house, and he was piling it where they keep their wood that they burn for the winter, okay? And as we were working together, he asked me not to share that we were doing that. He said, please don't share, don't tell anybody that we're doing this. Nobody needs to know, just me and you. Nobody needs to know it was us. And that's why I'm saying, he told me not to say. I mean, I think it's okay to share now, because the purpose of it was just so that he didn't need the praise and the accolades from the person he was helping. But he taught me a powerful lesson, and I know without any doubt, regardless of it counting towards a savings account for a house in heaven, and that's not really what I'm trying to portray. But the message is the same. At any time you do good, any time at all that you do good, it counts. It counts upstairs. It counts to make you a better person. And you know what? It counts in the life of the person that you did good for, whether they recognize it or not. There was another example that I have of a friend of mine. Her name's Cass Miller. And Cass, thank you for this, because I never thanked you. This is a good example of how sometimes people do things and then they never get thanked, right? She had shared pretty intimately one day on her story about the juggling of life, and being a mom and trying to juggle all of the things that we have going on. And it was just a message just saying, like, you're normal. You're normal. Everybody goes through this. And at the time that I watched it, I was just like, yeah, that's true, But then there was something that she said that later resonated with me when I kind of hit like a challenge or something that happened for me. And I was like, thanks, Cass. And I never went back and recognized her for sharing that, and helping me through a little slump. So I'm thanking you now, Cass. But that is a good example of exactly what happens in life. Sometimes we put good out and we never get recognized for what we're doing or what we're up to. And that's okay. It's okay. Sometimes I think, maybe I need that message. Maybe I'm going to watch this video back over and over. But bottom line is, I just wanted to portray, do good, no matter if you're recognized for it or not. So guys, trust in the way that doing good makes you a better person. Don't ever lose your faith in humanity. Keep being one of those people, the people that do the good, the people that are representing good and doing good and giving it away freely. Thanks for hanging out with me, you guys. I'm so happy if it encouraged anybody to do anything good, if it has any sort of a ripple effect.